The bridging of the divide, no moment, no corner, no condition exists where the divine's presence fades. Nothing looms to dread. No fracture can splinter the seamless unity that is his essence. Even the tiniest rift would twist his boundless affection into a thread of resentment, his calm into a gust of strife, his endless patience into a flicker of haste and impossibility. Yet you harbor this illusion whenever you sense a chasm between you and your kin. How could you lean on him then? His love must veil a trick. Keep your distance, hold a buffer against his nearness, a shield to slip through should escape call. Here, dread of the divine stands stark. To the wary, love twists into betrayal, for unease and scorn walk hand in hand. Those who shun love fear it, and so the divine becomes their shadow. They grasp neither love's warmth nor its truth dreading. To embrace, craving to repel, they mistake love for peril and scorn for solace. This is the harvest of that slender divide, cherished as a lifeline, a beacon of refuge. Dread of the divine, the tallest hurdle piece must crest lingers still. Lesser barriers have crumbled, but this one limbs, dimming your path to radiance. With gloom, risk, and desolation, you've cast your kin as a foe, perhaps a companion, when your paths align briefly, but only with a rift intact, lest they shift back to rival. Draw near and you recoil. They approach and retreat follows. A fragile truce, measured and restrained, forms your pact, a mutual vow to guard that divide. Its breach a forbidden's fracture. This rift isn't a mere span between forms, it mirrors. A vow to drift apart when it suits, reuniting only by choice. Your shells brush, signaling a fleeting merge, yet always free to peel away. Agreed upon this right to part, you meet in spurts, stepping back in gaps that shield you from love's cost. The shell spares you total surrender, granting time to rebuild the self you fear shrinks in closeness. The shell can't cleave your spirit from your kin's unless you will it, so you grant it a sway it doesn't own. Now you imagine it rules, your crossings capping your reach to their soul. It charts your course, where to wander, how to move, what's within grasp, what lies beyond. It decrees its endurance, its weariness, its frailty, setting bounds on your intent, keeping your aim small and brittle. The shell bends to this if you demand. It permits fleeting sips of love, punctuated by scorn, seizing the reins of when to feel or flinch back to safety. It falters because you've lost love's melody. Every scene and soul you meet bends to a tune not yours. Misused, love seeks no toll. Dread exacts love's surrender, for in love's glow, dread dissolves. To cradle scorn, love must be a specter flickering, frail, offering no anchor. You miss how wavering your trust is, how often you've shooed love away for a quiet, hollow calm. The shell, blameless of aims, props up your shifting whims, forced to uphold them. You don't dread its frailty, but its lack of might or meekness. Would you see no wall divides you from your kin? No crevice hides you? A jolt greets those who find their rescuer, no longer a rival. A caution stirs when the shell's myth unravels. Yet whispers of unease circle the joyful truth. The divine is love. When the divide fades, only timeless peace remains, nothing more, nothing less. Free of dread, what trinkets in that rift could tether you from his love? Would you let the shell defy the heavens' call, fearing a self lost in finding the divine? Can a self vanish by being reclaimed? The guest's arrival, why not greet freedom from ache as a gift? Why not hail truth instead of eyeing it warily? Why does a clear, smooth trail so plain it can't be missed feel jagged, steep, and daunting? Isn't it because you see it as a descent to ruin, not a gentle climb to yourself, cost-free, in the divine's embrace? Until you grasp, you shed nothing. Until loss fades, you'll carry flickers of doubt about this path. Its gains elude you, yet they bloom rooted in a choice already sown. You've welcomed renewal's seed, so you're renewed its power to mend now yours. The wonder isn't a sudden flare, unmoored from origin, nor a root itself. It lives where its spark ignites. Planted now, though unseen, its ripples wait unfelt. Look within, no cause for regret lingers. Only a wellspring of joy and peace's promise. Hunting peace amid strife's embers is a lost chase seeking escape from flaw and pain in a frame built to cradle them is vain. Pain and flaw, scorn and dread, strife and guilt leave one illusion where they lack root. Their echoes vanish and love flows in. Why not rejoice? You're unbound from ache, frailty, loss, and scorn's toll, pain and guilt no longer kin. You greet love's harvest, your guest has arrived, you beckoned, and he stepped in. His entry went unheard, your welcome half-hearted, yet his offerings landed at your feet. He asked you to claim them. He needs your hands to share them with those who drift, believing they're alone. Their renewal hinges on your embrace of these. Gifts your guests will gather all who tread this sacred ground where his treasures rest. You don't see how much you can offer, buoyed by what you've received. He lingers where you called him. Nowhere else can he meet his host or share his peace, joy, and the bliss his presence weaves. They dwell with him, brought for you. You can't glimpse him, but his gifts shine clear through them. You'll trust he's near. What you can do now flows only from the love and grace he bears. This is the divine's vow. The guide lives. Every thread of life woven into him. Nothing else holds breath. What you've enlivened lacks pulse, a mirror of your wish to thrive apart from life, vital in decay, mistaking end for being. Chaos piles on chaos here. This realm rests on it, shifting yet rooted in flux. Stability baffles the lost. They build on drift and sway. The shell doesn't shift, it's the dream's emblem that flux is real. To shift is to reach a new shore. Unlike the last, no flux marks the timeless, unknown to the heavens. Here, it serves dual ends, teaching clashing truths through its guide's lens. It may seem to ebb with time, frailty, or fortune, yet the spirit holds fast to its shell's aim. Frailty demands the shell exceed. Its void, its emptiness, ensures it can't falter. Craving where births frailty's notion, asking the divine to shrink. What becomes of you when he's diminished for your gain? He'd yield you, and in his loss, you'd swell your shed, self a new idol. Guarding you from him, a shell tasked as deity will face assault, its void unrecognized, it pretends. To power, seen as a force, it feels, acts, and binds you captive, yet fails your call. You'll scorn its smallness, missing that the fault lies not in its limits, but your blindness to its nullity, a nullity that's your freedom, from which you flee dot as something. The shell rivals the divine, swapping his all for scant, bound to spare. You cheer his loss in loving or loathing it. If he's everything, what's not in him isn't, and his fullness is its void. Your rescuer isn't gone, nor housed in death's shrine. He thrives in the divine, making him your savior, nothing else. His shell's nullity frees yours from frailty and fade. What's yours matches his dot, the divine's beacon stone. Doom your rescuer, for dreaming he's a shell beyond his haze lies his truth. He must first grasp he's a savior before recalling. his essence and save those who'd be saved. His joy rests on freeing you. He learns he holds salvation by sharing it. Only those who see the divine dimmed by there might miss this, who gives without having or loses by sharing what grows. Did the divine fray when he shaped you? Did his love weaken in sharing? Did your wholeness carve him incomplete? Or do you prove his flawless fullness? Don't deny his beacon in the dream. The guide favors over truth. He must free himself from it by seeing another beyond the shell united. No wall sundering life's unaware threads. Amid the stream of shells and endings glows one truth, a faint ember, a rift of light piercing the murk where the divine endures. You can't rouse yourself, but you can let waking come overlook your kin's illusions. Forgive them so fully they become your rescuer from your own haze. Seeing them blaze in that rift where the divine dwells, you'll find him where their shell stands. Before this glow, the shell melts and shadows yield to light, unable to linger. Radiance heralds their end in splendor. You'll see your kin, grasping what truly fills the long-felt divide. There, the divine's beacon paves a tender path for the guide. Whom you release gains strength to lift your illusions. Your gift of freedom returns to you. Clear love's way, you didn't craft it, but you can stretch it. Here, that's forgiving. Your kin lifting shadow from your spirit. When light dawns through your grace, they won't forget their rescuer. His face bore the glow they'll carry through gloom to the eternal. Flame. How sacred you are, the guide as your savior amid desolations. Dream. See how he rushes, stepping from shadows to shine on you in thanks and love. He's himself, yet not alone. The divine lost no shard in your making, and your light brightens his, saving him from dusk. Your light matches his, this ember flares. In the dream, rousing him, his waking gaze resting on you. In his glad freedom, you're freed.